When they come back after ghosting, don't make this mistake of trying to pour into it all of the missed out energy of just overly being excited of them returning into your life, of them wanting you now. They didn't want you before. And playing it cool. What you need to avoid doing is making a big deal out of it. Allow them to do what they want. They want to be here, great. Let's chat. They want to leave your life, great. Leave me alone, Not in a negative way, but in a way that it's doing you a favor. It's giving you lots of space to do your own stuff. And it's making space for you to actually meet someone who's actually way better than this person. If they continue to treat you like garbage or whatever you want to label it. What most times we will naturally do is we will get overly excited when someone returns, especially someone who's attractive. We get excited and then we pour way too much into it. And then they can feel how you have valued their return into your life or them reaching back out. They'll feel that. If you were neutral, you didn't give a shit either way. It's gonna create tension in them, but it's also gonna make them want to stick around because they know you don't need them. They know that you have your own stuff on the go. But if they can feel that your happiness is dependent on them, that's when the separation starts to happen. When you can't make plans without, having to force an issue onto them every time. And I'm not saying don't make a plan with someone you like. Don't make a plan with a friend or a person you're dating. But when 100% of your time needs to be spent on this person because you feel like you have no one else, that's where we get caught in a loop. That's where we get caught in a dependency. When you lose the dependency, the energy you used to project depending on this person to make you feel awesome is then directed inward, inside the body. Awesome. You are already awesome. When you tune into that version of yourself that's already awesome, people can come and go as they please. Because what type of emphasis or meaning do we place on the outer world? Is that it doesn't matter compared to the inner world. And that is not selfish or narcissistic. That is you being protective of your energy. No longer needing. Neediness repels. Self-confidence attracts. Which one are you attracted to? A woman or man that's chasing after you? Or somebody who's comfortable that don't need you? Which one do you want? And I know some people will say, oh, well, I want someone who's going to be there all the time because that's the way that you are. You want it mirrored back to you. When you realize there was a program of how attached you are to another individual, why they ghosted you in the first place, and the meaning you put behind it, all of the self-sabotage that came along with it, and then the analyzing and living in the mind, and then we live on a level where we're not good enough for an individual. When you change that way of thinking to becoming someone who has all these things, what will be reflected back to you is that reality. And how is that reality created? Up here. But how are the negative events and the failure and the ghosting and the rejection created? Up here. Imagination. As much as it is simple to explain, when you start to use the power of your imagination to create fact, to create solid proof in your life, this ghosting stuff, it's not real. It don't have an effect over you as an individual. Because your self-concept is predetermined, I have the feeling of so-and-so, such and such being in my life already. I feel it. I am it. You are being. You are not placing importance. You are not projecting energy for them to come and save you. You are not needing a future event to change your energy. When you are it in this present moment, right now, what will happen later today or tomorrow is proof of you living that way. And when you assume it to be true and imagine it daily, you will just find a peace and love for your current life right now. And someone who leaves you, whether they're hot as fuck or not, it's going to have very little importance on your energy. Because you will only attract those to mirror back to you the level of consciousness that you are at. So when you start living in a level of consciousness that you are an attractive human being, somebody walking away from you is not affecting you in a negative way. It is happening for you. It is a story to lead you to greater things. When you are connected with God's source energy, you are being, and your I am, what is it? It is worthy of anything that you have placed your mind on. And anything you have placed your mind on is imagining. It is the power of your imagination. And when you start to use this on your life, everything will change. When I used this last year on my life, and you don't just start imagining and get it that same day. You have to persist in this. I pictured myself being someone who does this every day, who does the office job and the fitness. And you know what? When I didn't have any clients, I just started to envision myself having clients every night when I went to bed. Or you can be in meditative state. The art of revision is laying on your back prior to sleeping. When you envision an event happening in your life, every night when you go to bed, what will happen is a sign of it will come true. So I just envisioned clients starting to contact me or the gym wanting to give me more work when I kind of wasn't sure the direction I was going in, but I had to change to knowing the direction I was going in, and I will receive those clients. And a week or two later, I was on my way to the gym to just teach a group class or work on myself, and then my cell phone started ringing with a number that I did not recognize. And who was it calling me? An opportunity for a client. And that's where it began. That was my sign. Because I persisted in knowing I would be a successful personal trainer. I would have the clientele to match the energy of me being successful ahead of time to making it present fact in this present moment, which I would prefer to live in. rather than needing an event from later or to analyze and fix what happened before. And it didn't just happen for personal training, it happened in my main job. When I changed from being a long haul truck driver to getting promoted in the company to working in the office every single day. Huge promotion because I used to live away from home 5 days a week and I'd be home 2 days. Now I'm home every day. I would meditate every night for about 5 or 6 months last year. And then when it came December, I was asked to have a meeting with the head boss, the chairman of the company. And then he offered me the position that I'm currently working, which is awesome because I get to be at home. I'm living the way I felt all year last year. I am living it now. And that's what I mean by imagination will change your reality. Because if you're only imagining that these things are going to fail, or people who look like that treat me like this, or that only those types of people are able to get rich and I can't, or I can't achieve this or that, then that is the reality that will get reflected back to you. But when you start to live your life and walk through your day and ignore what the senses are experiencing, to you creating your reality, not the outside. The outside will need to conform to the reality you have created within. And start to practice this and live it. Continue to live it. Because the day you're ready to give up, it could open up and happen that very next day. So just try that this week, the art of even revision, which is giving a different meaning to something that happened today that you didn't like in a relationship or an opportunity, or somebody disrespecting you, and you remember it and it sucked. When you go to bed and give it a different meaning, it won't exist. What was the negative way of looking at it? You create a new meaning for it. And it's a very, very powerful tool for changing your state of consciousness. And your state of consciousness will power your new direction and all of the opportunities that come within it and to it, because it will mirror what you believe to be true. So I thank you for watching this one. We will see you on the next video.